Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Collections, where we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we've got something truly special for you. If you've ever wondered about the hidden treasures lying in your coin collection, then you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about the iconic 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that might just have a much higher value than you'd expect. Let's set the scene. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny might look like any other penny at first glance, but there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. This penny was part of the famous series of wheat pennies that were minted from 1909 to 1958. The wheat penny is beloved by collectors for its simple yet elegant design and the history behind it. But it's the 1949 edition that really stands out, and here's why. The design of the Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most recognizable in American numismatic history. On the obverse side, we have the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This design was created by the talented artist Victor David Brenner, and it has remained iconic ever since. But it's the reverse side that truly sets the wheat penny apart, featuring two stalks of wheat framing the denomination. This design symbolized the country's agricultural heritage and has always been a favorite among collectors. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of why the 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny is so highly sought after. In terms of production, the 1949 penny is considered one of the more common dates in the series. However, don't let that fool you. While many of these coins were produced, not all of them are created equal. The real value in a 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny lies in its condition and any special features or errors that might have occurred during the minting process. This is where things get really interesting for collectors. As many of you know, the key to a coin's value lies in its rarity, condition, and sometimes, any unique features or minting errors. The 1949 penny is known for a few notable variants, particularly the 1949 S penny, which was minted in San Francisco. The S mint mark, combined with a coin in exceptional condition, can significantly increase its value. And that's just the beginning point. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1949 wheat penny is the possibility of finding a rare error coin. Over the years, a small number of these pennies were struck with noticeable mistakes, errors that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. One of the most desirable errors is the 1949 Lincoln penny with a doubled die obverse. This happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly, causing some of the details, such as Lincoln's portrait, to appear doubled. These error coins are highly prized because they are unique and hard to come by. Other error types can include off-center strikes, where the image on the coin is misaligned, or coins that have been struck with too much pressure, leading to overpolished or ghosting effects. These types of errors are rare, and any coin exhibiting such flaws in decent condition can skyrocket in value. But even without an error, a 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny in pristine condition is still a fantastic find. Coins that have been well preserved, with sharp details, no wear, and no signs of corrosion or discoloration, are incredibly rare. Most of these pennies were used in everyday transactions, which means most of them have experienced significant wear and tear over the years. Finding one in uncirculated, mint-like condition is a real treasure for any collector. So, just how valuable can a 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny be? If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare error coins, or if it's in exceptional condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Ready for the surprise? A 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny in top condition, or even better, with a rare error, could be worth as much as $48,000. Yes, you heard that right. $48,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that something so small could hold such immense value, but that's the magic of rare coins. They are more than just currency, they are pieces of history, carrying with them stories, errors, and imperfections that make them unique. So, next time you dig through your coin collection, take a closer look at that 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny. You never know, you might just have a valuable gem hidden in your collection. Today, we've got a real treat for you, a coin that's been a favorite among collectors for decades. We're talking about the iconic 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Now, you might think, a penny is just a penny, right? Well, think again. This little piece of American history could be worth way more than you'd expect. Stick with us as we uncover why the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny might just be hiding some serious value. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of the famous series of pennies that were minted from 1909 all the way to 1958. This series is known for its simplicity and elegance, with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side and two stalks of wheat framing the reverse. The wheat penny is beloved not only for its design but also for its historical significance. It represents a time when the U.S. economy was thriving and America was still experiencing the tail end of post-war prosperity. Now, let's talk about the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny specifically. While this coin was produced in large numbers, it's the rarity of specific variants and the coin's overall condition that makes it a sought-after gem for collectors. In fact, many of these pennies were released into circulation and saw years of heavy use. The ones that have survived in good condition are far fewer in number, and those that are in excellent, uncirculated condition are true treasures. The condition of the coin is one of the most critical factors when it comes to its value. Most 1957 pennies are worn and scratched from years of use, but if you happen to find one that is well preserved, you could be sitting on something very special. Coins with sharp details, no discoloration, and no signs of wear are rare, and that's exactly what collectors look for. These coins are typically graded on a scale from poor to mint state, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes, but there's more. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny has several unique features and errors that make it even more valuable. One of the most exciting and sought-after errors is the 1957 double die penny. This happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during production, causing a doubling effect on certain details. In the case of the 1957 penny, you might notice that Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions on the coin appear doubled, making it an error coin that can skyrocket in value. A double-die 1957 penny in good condition is a prized find for collectors and can command a much higher price. Another rare variant is the 1957 S Lincoln Wheat Penny, minted in San Francisco. The S mint mark, combined with a coin in top condition, makes this particular penny highly desirable. If you're lucky enough to have one of these, especially if it's an uncirculated specimen, you could be holding a coin worth a significant amount of money. But let's not forget about other potential minting errors. Coins can sometimes get struck off-center, leaving part of the design missing or misaligned. Other coins might have slight die cracks or over-polished areas that make them unique. These error coins are not only fascinating but can significantly increase a coin's value on the market. For many collectors, finding an error coin is like finding a hidden treasure. So, how much can the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny actually be worth? If you're fortunate enough to find a well-preserved example or one with a rare error, the value can be astonishing. A 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny in perfect condition or with an exciting minting error could be worth as much as $42,000. Yes, you heard that right, $42,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, isn't it? But that's the beauty of coin collecting. What may seem like an ordinary piece of change could end up being a small fortune. So, the next time you come across a 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, take a good look at its condition. It could be worth much more than just 1 cent. Today, we have a real treat for you, a coin that many collectors dream of finding. We're talking about the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, an absolute gem that holds a lot of history and potential value. This penny, which might seem like just another coin at first glance, has a secret that could make it worth a small fortune. Stick around, because you won't want to miss what we have to say about this rare find. First, let's set the stage. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny comes from a very interesting period in U.S. history, World War II. The year 1944 was a time of great change and turmoil, and the U.S. economy was heavily involved in the war effort. As a result, the U.S. Mint faced metal shortages, which led to the creation of a very special version of the Lincoln Wheat Penny. In 1944, the U.S. Mint decided to use a steel composition for the penny instead of the usual copper. This was an important decision made to conserve copper for military use. However, in 1944, the majority of pennies were made with copper again. But there's a twist. Some of these coins were mistakenly minted with steel, and that's where the real value lies. These steel pennies are incredibly rare, and if you happen to own one, it could be worth a lot of money. But we'll get to the price in just a moment. Let's talk about why these coins are so valuable. The design of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is iconic and instantly recognizable. On the obverse side, you'll see Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, immortalized on this coin. His portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, has been a symbol of American currency for over a century. The reverse side features two stalks of wheat, symbolizing the agricultural roots of the United States, but the real value of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny comes from its rarity and condition. Most of these pennies were circulated, meaning they were used in daily transactions, and therefore, many of them have been worn down over time. If you're lucky enough to find a 1944 penny that's in good condition or even uncirculated, that's a major win for any collector. Let's talk about the errors that make this coin especially exciting for numismatists. The 1944 steel penny is a huge rarity. Most of the 1944 pennies were struck using copper, but a small number were mistakenly minted using steel. These steel pennies are highly sought after by collectors because they are incredibly difficult to find. The steel version was only produced for a short period of time, and these pennies are a mistake that collectors go crazy for. Additionally, even among the regular copper 1944 Lincoln Wheat Pennies, there are certain variants and error types that can make them even more valuable. For example, a 1944 penny that has been struck off-center, with a misaligned design, can be a true treasure for collectors. Another error that increases a coin's value is a double die, where the design elements, such as Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions, appear doubled due to a misalignment in the minting process. These types of errors are highly prized in the world of coin collecting, but there's even more. The condition of the coin is crucial when it comes to determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved with little to no wear can fetch significantly higher prices. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for coins that have remained in excellent condition, with sharp details and no signs of corrosion or discoloration. If you have a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny that is well kept, especially if it's one of the rare steel variants or an error coin, you might be sitting on a small fortune. So, what could this coin actually be worth? A 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny in uncirculated condition can fetch thousands of dollars, but if you have one of the rare steel pennies or a coin with a notable minting error, you could be looking at a much higher value. In fact, a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the right features can be worth as much as $48,500. Yes, you heard that correctly, $48,500 for a single penny. It's incredible, isn't it? A small coin from 1944, made of steel or with a rare minting error, can be worth so much. This is the beauty of coin collecting. What might seem like just another penny could turn out to be a hidden treasure. Today, we have a coin that many of you might have overlooked in your collection, but trust me, it's one that could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This might look like just another penny at first glance, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Stick with us as we dive into why this coin is so valuable and why you'll want to keep a close eye on any 1945 pennies you come across. The Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history. Minted from 1909 to 1958, this penny has become a symbol of the country's past, with President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and two stalks of wheat on the back, representing America's agricultural roots. It's a design that has stood the test of time and has become a favorite among collectors, but the 1945 version of the Lincoln Wheat Penny is particularly special. This coin was minted in the midst of World War II, and it carries with it a rich piece of history. In fact, it was minted during the final year of the war, a time when the United States was making its way toward victory. It was also a period when the U.S. Mint had to adjust to metal shortages due to the war effort, which led to some interesting changes in the coins produced. Now, when it comes to the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny, there are a few key reasons why this particular coin can be worth a significant amount of money. First and foremost, the 1945 penny was minted using copper, just like many other pennies before it. However, what makes it valuable is its condition and the possibility of rare minting errors. As many of you know, most coins produced in the 1940s were circulated heavily and saw years of wear and tear, meaning that finding one in excellent condition is quite rare. But what really sets the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny apart are the errors that occurred during its production. Over the years, coin collectors have discovered several exciting and valuable error types in these pennies. One of the most common errors is the double die error. This happens when the coin's die shifts slightly during the minting process, causing the details, such as Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions, to appear doubled. Double die pennies are always highly sought after because they are rare and add an extra layer of intrigue to the coin. Another error that can make the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny even more valuable is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or misprinted. Off-center strike coins are rare and can fetch a premium price, especially if they are in good condition. Even without these errors, the 1945 penny is still valuable depending on its condition. A coin that has been well preserved and shows little to no wear is a true find. Many 1945 pennies have been heavily circulated, which means they've been through a lot: scratches, discoloration, and damage from years of use. If you have one of these coins in pristine condition, you've already got a valuable piece of history on your hands. Now, let's talk about the real value of the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny. While most of these pennies are worth only a few cents in average condition, if you're lucky enough to have one that's in uncirculated or mint condition, or even better, one with a rare error, you could be looking at a much higher value. A 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny in top condition, especially one with a double die error or an off-center strike, can be worth as much as $47,500. Yes, you heard that correctly, $47,500 for a single penny. It's amazing how something so small can hold such immense value. This is the beauty of coin collecting. What may seem like just another penny could turn out to be a rare and valuable treasure. So, the next time you dig through your coin jar or check your old change, take a closer look at those 1945 Lincoln Wheat Pennies. It might just be worth your time to do so. Today's video. We're diving into the world of the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that could actually be worth a small fortune. If you've got any old pennies lying around, this could be your ticket to a serious discovery. So grab your magnifying glass and get ready to learn all about the unique features that make this particular penny so valuable. The Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history. With its classic design featuring the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, it's a coin that has stood the test of time. Produced from 1909 to 1958, the wheat penny is beloved by collectors for its historical significance and its beautiful design. But not all wheat pennies are created equal, and the 1954 version, in particular, holds some hidden treasures for those who know what to look for. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny stand out. After all, millions of these coins were minted, so it might seem like just another penny, right? Well, it's true that most of these pennies aren't worth much in everyday transactions. However, there are several factors that can make the 1954 penny far more valuable than its face value. First, let's talk about rarity. While millions of 1954 pennies were produced, the ones that survived in pristine condition are much rarer. Many of these coins were circulated, meaning they saw years of wear and tear, and finding one that's well preserved can be a real challenge. Coins that are in excellent or mint condition are highly sought after by collectors because they retain their original detail and beauty. A coin in mint state, with no scratches, discoloration, or damage, is a rare find and can fetch much higher prices on the market. So, if you happen to come across a 1954 penny that looks like it just came out of the mint, you've already got a valuable piece in your hands. But the rarity of a well-preserved 1954 penny isn't the only factor that makes it valuable. There are also certain minting errors that can significantly increase the coin's worth. One of the most exciting errors to look out for is the double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during production, causing the design to be imprinted twice. For a 1954 penny, this could result in a doubled Lincoln portrait, doubled inscriptions, or even doubled wheat stalks. These double-die pennies are highly sought after because they are unique, and their error makes them stand out from the regular ones. A 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny with a noticeable double-die error can dramatically increase in value, making it a treasure for any serious collector. In addition to the double-die error, there are other variations and minting issues that can make the 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny even more valuable. For example, if you happen to have a 1954 penny with an off-center strike, where part of the design is missing or misaligned, you could have a truly rare coin on your hands. Off-center strikes are caused when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, and these coins can be worth quite a bit, especially if they're in good condition. Another aspect to consider is the specific mint mark on the coin. The 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these locations has its own unique characteristics, and the coins from these mints can vary in value depending on their rarity. The 1954 penny minted in San Francisco, for example, is considered less common than those minted in Philadelphia or Denver, making it more desirable for collectors. So, what is the actual value of the 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny? While most of these pennies are worth only a few cents, if you happen to have one in uncirculated condition or with a rare minting error, the value can skyrocket. A 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny with the right features, whether it's an error coin like a double die or an off-center strike, or simply a coin in mint condition, can be worth as much as $40,000, yes, that's right, $40,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, but that's the incredible world of coin collecting. A coin that seems so simple and ordinary can actually hold a lot of value if you know where to look. So, if you've got any 1954 pennies in your collection or you come across one in your change, be sure to take a closer look. You could be holding onto something far more valuable than you ever imagined. Today, we're diving into a truly fascinating coin, one that may just be hiding in your collection or perhaps sitting in a box of change. We're talking about the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny, an iconic coin that holds much more value than its face suggests. If you've ever wondered about the worth of a simple penny, this video is for you. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll be seeing pennies in a whole new light. The Lincoln Wheat penny is one of the most beloved coins in American history. Minted from 1909 to 1958, this penny showcases the timeless portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. It's a design that has remained a symbol of American heritage for over a century. But among all the wheat pennies produced, the 1950 version stands out as a hidden gem for collectors and investors alike. Now, you might think, what makes the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny so special? After all, millions were minted. And you're absolutely right, 1950 pennies were produced in large numbers. However, as with any coin, rarity, condition, and certain minting errors play a huge role in determining its value. While a regular, worn 1950 penny might only be worth a few cents, there are certain features that can make this coin worth significantly more. The first factor that contributes to the 1950 penny's value is its condition. Like many coins from the mid-20th century, most 1950 pennies were used in everyday transactions and have undergone heavy wear. However, there are a few pristine examples out there that have been preserved in near-perfect or uncirculated condition. These well-preserved coins are much rarer, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. If you've got a 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny that looks like it just came out of the mint, you've already got a valuable coin on your hands. But condition alone doesn't necessarily make a coin valuable. It's the rare minting errors that can truly make a 1950 penny worth a small fortune. One of the most exciting things about coin collecting is the potential for error coins. These are coins that were struck improperly during the minting process, resulting in unique and sometimes highly valuable specimens. For the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny, the most coveted error is the double die variety. A double die occurs when the die used to stamp the coin is misaligned or shifts during the striking process, resulting in doubled images on the coin. For the 1950 penny, this error could cause Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions on the coin to appear doubled. Double die coins are highly prized by collectors because they are unique, and the error makes the coin stand out from regular examples. If you happen to come across a 1950 penny with a noticeable double die, it could make your coin worth significantly more than a typical penny, but the excitement doesn't stop there. Another error that can make the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny more valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or misaligned. Off-center coins are highly collectible because they're a true rarity, and collectors love adding them to their collections. An off-center strike on a 1950 penny, especially one in great condition, could make it much more valuable than you might expect. There are also variations in the mint marks that can affect the value of the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny. These coins were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced a slightly different version of the coin, with some being rarer than others. For example, a 1950 penny minted in San Francisco is less common than those from Philadelphia or Denver, making it more desirable to collectors. The mint mark, located just beneath Lincoln's shoulder, is a key feature to look for when evaluating the rarity of a 1950 penny. So, what does this all mean for the value of a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny? In general, the 1950 penny is worth more than just its face value, especially if it's in good condition. But when you add in the possibility of a rare minting error or a specific mint mark, the value can skyrocket. A 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny that's in mint condition, or one that has an exciting error, like a double die or an off-center strike, could easily be worth as much as $39,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $39,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how much value a coin can have when it's well preserved, features a rare minting error, or comes from a special mint. This is why coin collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for these hidden treasures. What might seem like just another penny could turn out to be a goldmine in disguise. So, the next time you come across a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. Examine its condition, check for any minting errors, and see if there's a mint mark on the coin. You might just be holding a rare treasure that could be worth thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed learning about the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny and its potential value, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our future coin discoveries. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and who knows, your next big find could be sitting right in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.